right, parents, I want to have a really big conversation with you. It's challenging and difficult. This topic is not one that we like to talk about, but I think it's time to talk about it.
This struggle got purpose and we grow. So whatever road we have to take next, all I need to know is that we'll roll with the punches.
Here we are. Big week. This is back to school week for a lot of you. In fact, when you see this, a lot of you are going to be getting up for school. A lot of you are going to be getting up for school. Your first day, those first day pictures. Let us see those back to school pictures. We want to see those back to school pictures of you and your nice outfits and those nice new shoes and that backpack and all ready to go, y'all. We're excited for this school year, and we're just excited to ride along with you all school year. So let's go. We're excited. Okay, it's time for what's been coming up in client sessions. All right, let's talk about this. This is something that I talk with parents about, and this, you could apply this to back to school. You can really apply this to anything. The idea is that there are some of you parents, we call these parents helicopter parents. These are helicopter parents where they just meet the demands. They meet the demands of their child. They don't let their child struggle. And y'all, I struggle with this idea because a lot of the times these parents, it's less about the kid. It's less about the kid and it's more about the parent. That the parent has some emotional difficulty with their child struggling, and the way to overcome the parent's emotional difficulty is to basically fix it for the kid or to give in to the kid. I don't want you to always give in to the demands of your child. The world does not work that way. And as a parent, if you're always giving in to your child, if you're always meeting your child's demand, then they're basically they're gonna grow up thinking that the world revolves around them, right? That the world revolves around them, and we know the world doesn't revolve around them. And then when they actually get into a situation as a child, or this will continue to grow into adulthood and think, well, my parents met all my demands, my parents gave in to me all the time, so the world's gonna give in to me. If my parents gave in to me all the time, if they always met my demands, then the world is. And we can be setting our children up for some really bad times, all right? Because that delayed gratification may not be there. A teacher in your child's class may be like, no, this is not your world. This is not Johnny's world. It's not Wayne's world, right? So we don't want your child thinking that they always have to be instantly satisfied. We want them to be able to have that delayed gratification. All right, parents? So be okay to let your child struggle. Don't fix that lunchbox. Don't put that food in that lunchbox because your kid didn't do it. Don't go and excessively wake your child up for school. Don't bring your kid food to lunch because your kid doesn't want to eat the school lunch, okay? Let your kids struggle some, y'all. Let your kids struggle, all right? All right? There's a lot of growth in that struggle, both for your child and for you. All right, when this jacket goes on, when the red jacket goes on, you know something special's about to happen. Something special's about to happen. The secret song, y'all are gonna see the band The Revivalists. The Revivalists this Thursday at Red Rocks. Two of my favorite things coming together. The Revivalists, and I've always wanted to go to the Red Rocks at Colorado And we're gonna listen to Soul Fight here. We're gonna listen to Soul Fight, secret song coming out, y'all. All right, here we go. Here we go, y'all. Here we go, here we go. Wasn't anybody home in here? It's getting cold and I just don't care, so I'm gonna find something else to do. Just take a look, didn't look at me. I'm 22 and I still don't see why all of you people just get along anymore. 'Cause falling down ain't so hard to do. You only crutch but you bottle brew. So I'm gonna find something else to do. 'Cause if I ever say to you all the things that you want me to love, I'd have to find something else to do. Okay, it's time for what's been coming up in client sessions. All right, parents, I want to have a really big conversation with you. It's challenging and difficult. This topic is not one that we like to talk about, but I think it's time to talk about it. What is, or maybe it's several things, what are your greatest parenting fears? What do you fear the most? What do you fear the most about your child? What do you fear happening? Some of you might say, Randy, I'm afraid that my child's not going to go to school and they're going to flunk out. I'm afraid that my child's not going to have any friends. I'm afraid that my child is going to get anxious. Maybe dropping off at school, having some challenges. Maybe my fear is that my kid's not going to get enough sleep or get enough nutrition, or whatever it would be. All right. So what I'm going to suggest to you are three fears that basically are like core fears, that basically everything that you might say is in these fears that you talk about are in three different categories. And I think if you can get good with these three core fears, then all this other stuff that you fear may not be as difficult and challenging. Okay? Now these are in no particular order, okay? But the first fear is death, okay? Basically, one of the greatest fear is your child dying, okay? And some of you may answer that as one of your greatest fears. So one is your child dying. Two is your child being in jail. That would be a second core fear. And then I think a third core fear would be homelessness. Homelessness, right? So if you can look at your situations, you can look at the things where you say, oh, I'm afraid, I have a fear that my son is not going to graduate high school. Well, I get that, but what is that core fear? What is that core fear? Well, maybe you might be, he's not going to graduate high school, and then if I ask you enough questions, it might be, well, he's gonna be just depressed and sad, and he's gonna kill himself. Okay, well, there's that fear of death that we talked about. Or maybe it's not death, but maybe your son doesn't graduate, and then you're like, because he doesn't graduate, he doesn't get a good job, and he doesn't have the ability to pay for an apartment, a house or something, so he's going to be homeless. Okay, boom, there you go, he's homeless, and that's that core fear. So when we're talking about working on these fears that you have, I really want you to think about those three core fears of, death, jail, and homelessness. And I hate to say it in this way, can you accept, can you get good, can you handle, I mean, we can have a whole discussion about can you handle it. The only time you can't handle something is if you take your own life. That would mean that you wouldn't be able to handle it. But everything else you would be able to handle. It just might not be the way that you like it, okay? But can you handle the death of your child? right? Can you handle your child being in jail? Can you handle your child being homeless? I know those are really challenging things to ask of you, right? Those are challenging and these are hard. And of course, we don't want any of our children to suffer in those ways. But if you can get good, if you can accept, if you can really get strong at your child being in one of those categories, then it makes all these other these other fears that we have, it makes them easier to deal with, okay? So we don't now have to be a helicopter parent, or we don't have to do things or accommodate or force our kids to do things, because we accept that at those 3 different levels, those core fears, that we can handle it, okay? Is this making sense? Because this is challenging for some parents to understand and really to kind of get their minds around, because who would ever really want to accept that their child has died, right? There's a lot of obviously grieving that goes through that and a lot of challenging times, but can we get you in a place that we can help you accept and be able to handle death, jail, and homelessness? That's really hard work, really hard work, but if we can get you there, I think you'll feel better as a parent. All right, y'all? All right. Thanks for having that difficult conversation with me. All right. Early morning, all day, late at night. We're just, we've been preparing our clients for this week, this back to school week, y'all. We're going into this school year, all year, between now and June 1st. We got a different mindset. We got a way different mindset. And we're hoping that our energy will rub off on some of you. We're going into the anxiety. We're going into the struggles. We're doing hard things at Midwest Anxiety this year. We're embracing it. We know that we're going to have some fun times. We know we got to fight, because we're going to fight for our right to party. We also like partying, but we're going to have a different mindset. We're going into the anxiety, not around it. We're going into the struggles, not around it, okay? So let's have our fun when we have our fun, but let's know there's going to be times we're going to have to work too. We're going to have to work, and we're going to embrace it, and then we'll be able to get through it and then get back to having fun again, all right? I hope you stick with us all school year, because we got lots of stuff we're going to be talking about. Let's go.
On track, now we gon' way up. Don't be used as easy as a layup.